All right, you know who my next guest is. Slippery Pete, Peter Barrett, is back on the show, and he will be headlining the next Cage Titans card on July the 10th when he meets Ali Zebian. Pete, how's it going, man?
Man, everything's going good, dude. I feel good. I'm enjoying the fight camp for 155 versus the last couple at 145. It's nice to feel full.
Yeah, that must be really nice because I know you said in the past that cut to 45, sometimes you got to be really disciplined. I mean, how much different is it now fighting at 55? Are you able to eat a little bit more that you'd like? It must be kind of night and day, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my weight between like 160 and 170 is really elastic for me. It's really easy to manipulate. And excuse me. It, I really to go to 145. I just don't snack. I break my fast after my first training session. I'll have a nice balanced meal. Then I'll get whatever I need to get done in the middle of the day, and then I'll have my last meal usually before training, and that's it. That's what I eat for the day. It's nothing crazy. I sustain and maintain probably around like 1,000 to 1,100 calories a day, without any issue of like performance. It just definitely wears on you around like week 5 or 6 when you're eating like anywhere from 50 to 70 grams of carbohydrates a day, and then that's not a lot at all by any means. So it wears on you, but it's doable. And now with fighting at 155, it just gives me the opportunity to mix in like a snack in the middle of the day, or like if I want to come home after training, instead of having a protein shake or like some tea, maybe I'll have an acai bowl. It's like I said, my weight's really elastic in between these parameters, so I can just play with it, and then fast a little bit longer the next day and clean it up. It's really easy.
Yeah, you said something that's really interesting to me there about fasting, breaking your fast. I'm kind of new to fasting, so give me some tips, man. I've been doing 18 and 6. I'm trying to eat between 12 noon and 6 p.m. and then go 18 hours, or I'm just drinking water and black coffee. What do you do, and what are the no-nos as far as fasting goes?
I mean, for me, so I wake up in the morning. I have what I call fire water, which is I juice a lemon. I have a teaspoon of pink salt. I'll do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'll shake that sucker up, and I'll suck it down, and that just jump starts, your GI, your stomach, all of the everything you want moving in the morning, right? And that kind of lets your body know that it's time to go. And it helps the cayenne and the lemon both help boost your metabolism to a certain extent. So I start my morning every day with that. That doesn't really break my fast. If you're a purist, you'd be like, oh, you just broke your fast right there. There's lemon juice in there, maybe some apple cider vinegar. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really move the needle so much as far as impeding your fast. I'll take that black coffee, and then I'll go into my training. That usually is anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours of hard training, which is where I really get that negative calorie burn, because there'll have been nothing in, so my body's just cycling through stored fat. It's doesn't even look at carbohydrates. Like, fuck that, I don't need sugar, and my body's just fueling fats. And when you're in that fasted state, with a high output like that, your body goes into like it kind of goes into survival mode, in the sense that it starts cleaning up all the weak cells in your body. So if you're in a deep fasted state and you're doing something, sports related, athletic, lifting, any sort of strength and conditioning, your body's going through and like killing your weak cells and strengthening your strong cells. So you're technically like renewing your cells more with more control. And if I could tell you the science, like, it's called cell autophagy. It's all proven. It's not just like my idea of what happens. I listen to very influential and educated people speak on this. And then what also happens with fasting is if you can do a 36-hour fast, your whole immune system like replenishes itself, which is a really cool function of your body as well. So like normally from Wednesday to Friday, I'll finish my meal. My meal's on Wednesday, train Wednesday night, maybe have like a protein shake before I go to bed, or maybe something with a little more carbohydrates in it. And then I'll fast all the way until about 1, 2, 3 o'clock on a Friday, after I've already done 2 hours of jiu-jitsu or maybe some form of strength and conditioning. And that, I feel like that really keeps, that coupled with cold showers, that really keeps my body functioning at the highest degree. I'm really optimizing your body's, safety procedures. So like when you're in a deep fasted state like that, all your senses are turned way on. So those are like some of my best jiu-jitsu training sessions of the week. It's the Friday when my eyes are on fire, my ears are on fire, my senses are on fire. I'm super, super like cognitively aware of my space and whatnot. And you just feel like you're on fire. And it's really because you're in such a deep fasted state that your body's kind of tricked into like, where's my next meal? Every opponent is like technically trying to kill you. Thankfully in jiu-jitsu we get to tap, but like we're practicing how to kill each other, how to dismember each other, how to break joints. So being in that state, with the cortisol and the adrenaline, and when you get into a really good flow state at that, like in a deep fasted state like that, it's really incredible. But back to fasting on a regular, basis, because I kind of got stuck on a tangent there. I try to do like a 20 and a 4 if I'm really, really disciplined. 24 is definitely what I'm doing for 145. 155, I have a little bit more freedom, 18-6, 24. Some days, Thursday, maybe that's today. If let's say we'll use tomorrow as an example, maybe tomorrow I get home from jiu-jitsu and I got to finish doing the yard work that I didn't get done today, and I don't end up eating until 4, and I got to go to work at 5. So maybe I'll have lunch at 4, and then I'll, at my house, and then I'll make my dinner and eat it on my way to work by 5. So I've had 2 meals within an hour, and that's all I'll eat that day. And then I won't eat again until like 2 o'clock on Saturday. And maybe that might happen again. And then Sunday, I give myself the freedom to kind of still stay within parameters of a fast. But Sundays are kind of like the days that we make steaks or hot dogs. And shout out to Butcher Box. They make all beef and all heritage, grass-fed beef, heritage raised pork hot dogs. I never thought I'd eat hot dogs again until Butcher Box put them out, and they're the most delicious things in the world. So Sundays we give ourselves I give myself the freedom to kind of eat whatever, but again, within a closed period of time. If I start eating early, I'll try to stop earlier in the evening. If I can hold off later, I'll try to keep that floating window. And it just, by staying disciplined on it, 7 days a week or 6 with a freedom day versus 5 days on, 2 days off, you don't really get out of the rhythm of being in that fasted state. And I've also worked with people to help them lose weight, and we'll set fasting schedules where, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll fast for these hours. Thursday will be the long fast. Friday would be a medium output day, and then break your fast after that. So like you can kind of use a flexible schedule for, a low to moderate output day. Maybe that's a day you don't eat at all, and you really give your body an opportunity to clean up all the shit that's like all the oxidative stress, all the weak cells, all that. You give yourself, just an opportunity to stop worrying about the digestion of food. You stick with your water and your coffee, and your body just gets to go clean up all that other trash that it never really gets to focus on. So, I could go on for hours about the benefits of fasting, as you can tell. Like, I think the first guy that turned me on to it, I was listening to the Model Health Show, which is like one of the top rated health podcasts on Apple. And he had Ori Hofmeckler on, who's like the OG of intermittent fasting. He's like this super eccentric character, Israeli special forces veteran, and he goes on about how, if you read the Bible, you can see that the great forces in the Bible, they only ate in a very small period of time throughout the day. So if you can mimic things that superior soldiers were doing back then, like he kind of goes into the not the factual data, but the stuff that kind of runs parallel with it. I forget the special term for that, the right term for that. It's causation, not. So I don't know. It's like causation. I don't know what I'm trying. I know what I'm trying to say, and I can't think of the damn word. But yeah, they did it, but that's not why they did necessarily why they did it. That's just a group of people that did it back then. But if you get into the science of it, there's a lot there, and it's very beneficial, But like a lot of people will tell you, like intermittent fasting is supposed to be intermittent, so it's also really good to give yourself a week off or to give yourself a break and just kind of let your body eat when you're hungry. If that means you wake up and you want to have breakfast one day, give yourself a window, a period of a few days or a week to kind of just go with the flow of it, and then jump right back into a disciplined schedule. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the ebb and flow of life. You can't be on all the time without your body getting accustomed to it. You want to keep your body, guessing at what's coming next. That's like the whole principle of intermittent fasting. Need help with a diet? Hit me up.
George there is the one that turned me on to it. I'm a massive GSP fan, so that got me interested in it. And I've been watching like Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Berg, and Faraz Zahabi talks about it a lot. So let's talk a little bit more off air here another time, because I really want to dig more into this, because I'm very intrigued and I've been doing it a lot more. I'm getting married later this year, man, and I got to be my svelte best. So I'm trying to get down to a certain weight range.
It's funny you say that. My coach, one of my coaches, Andy Cody, him and his wife, now wife, just got married. And it must have been when I was out there, I fought Zalal. What was it? When did I fight him? It was the end of last summer, right? So, but from that period, like let's say September to maybe April or May, I think combined maybe 250 pounds off between the two of them. I know she lost over 100 pounds. Andy maybe dropped close to 100 pounds. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. It's just the discipline.
Yeah, damn, man, that's incredible. Congratulations to them. We'll definitely talk more. I want to transition to your fight career here, and obviously everyone that supports you wanted you in the UFC. I mean, Cage Titans, one of the best regional promotions in the world, and very excited to headline there. But obviously the goal was to stay in the UFC, and unfortunately that fight against Hooper didn't go your way, man. Like, what's the learning lesson, and has it changed your outlook on your goals now moving forward, or do you still plan on getting back to the big show?
Oh man, 100% I'll be getting my hand raised in the UFC octagon before the end of the year. The parting email was, if you can get a streak together, let us know, and we'd love to work with them again. But going on a 2-fight slide in the UFC is pretty much a death sentence. But my goal is to fight as much as possible this summer, to fight smart, to obviously, you can only fight as much as you get hurt in that fight. So the goal is to get in and get out, kind of like a flawless victory would be the best way to look at it. Shout out, that new Mortal Kombat movie was pretty fucking sick. And then, I think if with everything opening up, nobody's fought in a year locally. Cage Titans is going to be able to put on probably like 2 or 3, maybe 4 shows this summer, with the amount of people that are ready and willing to fight. Like, he's at a point where his 10th show, he looked at me and he was like, I could split this up and do 2 shows, because that's how many people want to fight right now. That being said, I know that after July 10th, if I'm healthy in August, motherfucker, I'm fighting. If I'm healthy in September, motherfucker, I'm fighting. And I can't be fighting bums. I can't be fighting part-timers. They got to be guys like Zebian, with a little bit of swag behind them, with a little bit of weight to their name, but I don't need contender series quality fights to get back in there. We know that. So the goal is to fight the upper middle echelon, and really let people know that the local scene is not that it's below me, but that I've grown and my skills will take me much further than that which it is.
Mm-hmm. That Hooper fight, you had some moments where you really shined, man. Like, how disappointing was that with the end result?
I watched that. I got back to my hotel and I was all worked up, and my coaches thought I was mad with the way that I fought. And so they made me sit down and watch it. And I was listening to fucking Daniel Cormier. And what did he say? He said, you know what Barrett did tonight? He did the equivalent of pitching a no-hitter and then letting off a walk-off home run to lose the game. And I said, this motherfucker, fuck you, DC. That hurt. But he's right. That's what it felt like, everybody was on my shoulders. Everything was great. I had everything. I had the ball in my court, and then somehow shot a hole in my foot, literally. And I just watched it, slip through my fingers. And about 30 seconds after the fight, I'm in the cage, and you can see the emotions running through my brain, this, regardless of how well I fought and how, had that heel hook had that knock on that way, I would have won, and I'd still have that title with my name. But it was just like, I knew it was gonna. I had a good feeling it was coming. I think he was in the same position. If either one of us had fallen on a 2-fight slide, one of us was gonna get chopped that day, and he hit that heel hook. What did I learn there? Just to more trust in my instinct and go for the kill when it's there, versus trying to play it safe and not just embracing the fact that being a fucking animal has gotten me to this level, and I need to embrace being a fucking animal.
Yeah.
That's my biggest takeaway with that fight.
Okay, fair enough, man. How long did it take you to kind of bounce back mentally and get back on the horse, so to speak?
The biggest hurdle getting back was the knee injury. I banged up my ACL. He hit a heel hook at the end of the first round. He obviously hit that heel hook again a minute and a half into the third round, but he did a lot of damage on the first one at the end of the first round. And that's why I didn't sit down in between any of the rounds. They came out with the stool, and I was more afraid of sitting down and my knee tightening back up and then trying to get back up and realizing that, oh shit, I can't fucking walk now. So, it was just getting through that, doing the physical therapy, was like pretty boring and it was pretty defeating. Like, oh, this is what I've been reduced to, but it gave me something to do while my leg was getting healthier. And I think I took all of January off, and then Joe started texting me and making me feel bad about not being at the gym. And I started back with the jiu-jitsu and just doing the technique all through February, not being able to roll, sitting down, watching everybody, having my own little pity party about how I wished I was, just healthy and whatnot. But it was good to get back in the gym. I gave myself the month, and then just surrounding myself with like-minded people that are all getting better at their game, and staying in the rotation, staying in the schedule, staying in the routine of being at the gym really helped, accelerate the recovery of my knee. I think it was May maybe. I was like, I could take a fight on 6 to 8 weeks notice in May, and that's when I knew I was ready to start fighting. And maybe it was a little sooner than that. Let's say it was April, because originally we were supposed to fight in May with Cage Titans, but the economy opened up, so it made more sense to push the show back into July to allow a full crowd. So, I was ready to fight at the end of May. I could have had a fight night at the end of May, and then with everything working out, we just kind of coasted, kept my weight low, and now here we are, ready to go. Just really excited to fight again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I know everyone is excited to see you fight again. Are you working now again full time? Like, are you just training the whole time now, getting ready for this fight and then back in the UFC?
Yeah, no, I've always continued to work weekends. I bartend at my uncle's restaurant Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or when I was in the UFC, it had to be Thursday, Saturday to make sure I was getting enough rest for the Saturday training, because it's such an important day. But not having that big payday puts me back in the bar on Friday night. So now we're doing the 3 nights a week. And then on top of that, in Massachusetts, we just had a spring 2 season, which was half the winter sports that weren't able to happen because of COVID. So I was up at BC High 4 days a week coaching as the assistant wrestling coach up there. So I've been doing that for the last month and a half, 2 months too. So I'm just staying busy. I run some privates out of my house as well. I have a couple clients that I work pads with and general fitness stuff. And then from time to time, like I said to you, I work one-on-one with people about fitness and nutrition. And I just, I don't want to say it's an inch deep and a mile wide, but I'm always working somewhere in some way, fashion, or form.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I did want to ask you too. I heard this story, and I know this has probably happened a lot more than we even know, but with the sport of MMA growing at the rate it is, guys like yourself that make it to the UFC, their popularity goes through the roof. So my question is, with you being in the whole Boston, Massachusetts area, you being out, a lot of guys that consider themselves tough. Have you had anybody like try to like test their manhood against you, even though they know that you were in the UFC?
No, not necessarily. You get some guys that sparring that are a little froggy. But the bars are just opening back up again. I'm definitely getting recognized a lot more at work as being a UFC fighter versus just being the bartender that fights. That being said, a lot of the people that come into our restaurant and bar to party on the weekends know who I am, and I don't have to. My reputation precedes me, so if there's a fight that happens, I'm usually there before the door, guys. I'm usually not the biggest guy, but I usually break everything up and get you know what I mean? Like, there's an aura or energy that comes with people that have been through it, and I would like to think that I'm one of those people, and others can pick up on it. You know what I mean? So like when I look at someone and I tell them to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down and get the fuck out of here, they look at me, listen, and they split. But
You just got to look at the ears, the cauliflower ears, man.
yeah, you do. You know what I mean? And like, I can sit there and I don't know. It's the guy that's making the jokes there in the middle of a bar fight that you really need to be worried about, because he's so calm, cool, and collected that he's been there a million times that he's not really worried about anything that could surprise him. I'd like to think I'm that motherfucker in the bar 95% of the time. You know what I mean? And so no, I haven't had anybody act too stupid at work yet, but I'm not going to be. It's not going to surprise me if it does happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well said. Well, hopefully it does. I've heard some stories and it just blows my mind. Some people that want to test themselves. So I don't know. It's the world we're living in nowadays. Let's talk about this camp, man. Obviously, you got a lot of great guys around you. Has this been any different? Have you brought anybody new in, or has the same guys in camp getting you ready?
Same familiar faces. You know, we've been using some guys that are more similar in his style than others. You know, some of the guys that we have up at sit are really just like college and high school wrestlers that came to Sit Your Tongue to learn how to fight, to learn how to work on their stand-up. And we've been using those guys a lot to really just push the power doubles, the power takedowns, trying to get underneath my hands, really digging under hooks. You know, like there's no question that Ali's nickname used to be the anabolic Arab. So we can only imagine how strong he's going to be coming into this fight, right? So I need to be prepared and make sure that my technique is rock solid, because he's probably going to be one of the strongest motherfuckers I've ever fought. Second to probably Blair Tugman, who popped for steroids before the fight, so he never got to fight. But, you know, that being said, he's a decent wrestler with a strong shot, garbage stand-up, you know, so we can just take some of our pure wrestlers with good hands and say, your job for the next 5 minutes is just to take me down, no matter what. And that's how my technical sparring has been going, and it's been going really well. You know, I don't see this kid bringing anything that I'm not prepared for. I don't see him throwing anything that I haven't watched 1,000 times. You know, I spent the time on his Cage Titan fight with Fleming, another southpaw. I watched his most recent fight at LFA where he lost. I watched Ali's LFA fight where he fought another long striker. I saw where he kind of panicked wrestled. I saw where you know, up until then he hadn't really caught too many kicks from what I had seen. You know, I still have his fight with Matt Probin that I need to watch. He was another longer striker. So it'll be nice to see that. But again, you know, fights from that far back, from that long ago, to me aren't necessarily relevant. I would imagine that, you know, if the kid's got half a fucking coaching staff behind him, that he'll have fixed a lot of the mistakes that I had seen then. But it's still on my list of things to watch. So, you know, I watched his comment entries with wow, I just said his name when we were outside. With what the hell? His last opponent at Cage Titans, a kid from South Shore. Why am I forgetting his name? I just said it not even 10 minutes ago. Whatever. His other southpaw. And, you know, he was just coming in with switch kicks. He wasn't doing well with this when his lead hand was being, you know, controlled. You know, so I've seen the ways that Brandon Fleming, thank you, Jesus Christ. I saw how he had success getting in there. I saw how the other guy had success getting in there. The guy that he fought in LFA actually switched stance for a little bit and gave him a little bit of that southpaw flavor. So there's plenty, and obviously he's got plenty of film to study on me. You know what I mean? But this is just what I picked up while I was perusing. So, you know, I don't think he's going to be able to bring anything to the table that I haven't seen. You know, I'm going to be looking for overhands and blast doubles. And, you know, I know he doesn't even like to be on the ground that much. Like, his jiu-jitsu kind of sucks from what I've seen. He just likes to wrestle and maintain top position. But if at any point he's not top position, he's getting the hell off the ground. And, you know, that's where his big muscles work to, you know, everybody else's favor, because I don't want to be on the ground either, man. You want to get back up, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. So, you know, there are risks that come with fighting a shorter opponent, the overhands being one of them, because you kind of lose that peripheral vision with the guy that's underneath you. You don't see him coming over the top. But, you know, that's what we work trigger drills for, and you know, lateral movement. So it's, you know, I'm really excited to fight this kid.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you're excited to fight him. And, you know, it's interesting, man, because you got to imagine that you fighting regionally right now, you're going to get whoever you're fighting's best shot. They're going to bring their A game because they're looking to make their name off of you. So does that give you a little bit more juice, get you a little bit more amped up? Or are you already at that point, regardless of who you're fighting or for what promotion or whenever?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been spending the time doing the visualization, seeing the openings of this round, feeling what it, feeling the emotions of my hand being announced, my hand being raised and announced by knockout, by KO in Memorial Hall. Like I've seen it, close to 1,000 times at this point. This fight's going to be an awesome opportunity for me to let everybody know that that I've surpassed this level, and that I belong in the UFC. That being said, the UFC won't hear from me until I get 2 or 3 wins, because I'm not going to just turn around, beat one guy, and be like, okay, now you guys got to take me back. No, it's going to be to get through this fight unscathed with a dominating finish, and then rinse, wash, and repeat before the end of the summer. Maybe then we can reach out and try to get back to the UFC. But right now, it's just about smashing as many fools as fast as possible.
Yeah, I've asked this question to a lot of guys here in New England, but what makes Cage Titan such a great promotion to fight for, and Mike Polivar such a good promoter to fight for?
He's just a good guy. He'd never do you dirty. He'd take your shirt off his back for you. He gives everybody, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances, unless you really burn him. And then at that point, like, half of New England's going to hate you anyway, so you might as well just disappear. But he's a veteran of the sport. He saw how poorly promotions were run. Said, I can do this much better. Started Cage Titans. We started getting guys into the UFC. He was traveling with them, seeing how the UFC was doing things behind the scenes. Started incorporating the things that he was seeing into his own promotion, and just really allowed himself to grow and flourish. The dude's just he's a permanent student of the game. He went from fighting to now running one of the most successful promotions in New England, and that's just the type of guy he is. You know what I mean? He's just a good dude.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard nothing but great things about him. I've interviewed him before, but it's been quite some time. And oddly enough, I've never been down to the Memorial Hall there to fight, because I live up in the sticks here in Maine, so it's difficult for me to get out and venture a lot. But so let's talk about official prediction, man. Do you see this getting out of the first round, or are you envisioning yourself around 1 KO or sub win?
No, this is going to be a first round knockout, and I think it's going to be a statement, because the kid's never been knocked out before. But again, free striking clinic with a purchase of your ticket to Cage Titans. It's going to be something to really enjoy.
Awesome, man. I love the promotion right there. Polivar can use that to hype up this card even more than it already is. Awesome talking to you as always, Pete. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hell yeah. So check me out on Instagram, SlipperyPete145. My website is just being relaunched, slipperysworld.com. If you guys want to support me with the Sour Patch Knockout shirt, check out the links on my Instagram profile page. You can hit the pre-order there. Aqueous Media has been helping me with all my social media stuff. They've been doing great. Fucking Tyson at Top Game Management, always there when I need them. My guys over at DGAF, they've had nothing but support for me. And then again to Lozon's, Sityad Tong, Skill of Strength, Mike Perry. All my fight family have a special place in my heart, and I'm just really grateful to be here doing it.